I come decidedly low-tech this morning, and I apologize for that. I've been really impressed with how Drummond and Ellen put together this conference. It's kind of different from what we're used to in the stodgy, boring world of philanthropy. I was half expecting, after the music and the digital high tech and everything, the pitchers of water to have vodka in them instead. the W. Actually, I kind of wish they had vodka in them. But thank you, Drummond and Ellen. You guys are great. The Tides folks are putting this together, and Tom David. Drummond and Ellen have been together for a long time, longer than my first marriage, actually, as a team. I had a hard time. I didn't pull this thing together till last night after putting my daughter to bed, because I had a hard time. What do you talk about at a momentum building conference? So with that struggle, I went to the dictionary just to get grounded and centered. And the word momentum is defined as the property, at least Webster defines it, as the property of the property a moving body has due to mass and motion. So that made me wonder about who's in this body and where's it going? Where's it coming from? So I decided that the momentum building for this, at least my little presentation, and for this moment that we're in, has to do with movement, the motion of us, the mass, those of us who care about issues of social justice and equity and opportunity. And we're going from hope to change. And those are two words that you've heard a lot in this election for sure, because someone's been very good at talking about hope and change. Although I wish we had a nickel for every politician we've sent to Washington or Sacramento who talked about vote for me, I'm the change candidate, right? And we just heard 20 minutes from the previous speaker about how little has changed, and whatever has changed is actually going in the worst direction. But I want to talk about hope and change because for those of us in the world of philanthropy, we kind of sit at that nexus between hope and change. And I'm going to define, back to the dictionary, hope is a desire or expectation of fulfillment. Change, to make different. Replace with another. Okay? Big difference between hope and change. The words kind of roll off the tongue in an election campaign, but there's a huge Grand Canyon-like chasm between hope and meaningful change. Right? So I want to start with 3 stories of hope. And they are from organizations that we fund. I could have picked literally 1,000 at our foundation. I'm going to talk about Second Chance and Cocoa and Santa Clara. And the theme here, a couple of themes to have as backdrop for these stories. One is I got my start in this business, the business of change, actually as a practicing pediatrician in Camden, New Jersey and in North Philadelphia many years ago, during the height of the crack cocaine epidemic. And I was a practicing pediatrician when I saw crack cocaine visit itself upon North Philadelphia and East Camden and North Camden, East Camden, and North Philadelphia. And I saw the devastation and the havoc that the introduction of this drug played in a community that had been relatively hopeful, although poor and struggling. Camden still remains to this day a poor and struggling community. I think they've had 4 successive mayors that have been indicted, and they still struggle both politically and from an economic development standpoint. But crack cocaine opened my eyes completely about the limitations of healthcare. Okay? Because the problem in that community, given how unhealthy it became during that outbreak of crack cocaine, had nothing to do with health insurance. Okay? And public health researchers today tell us that 80% of what influences your health status and your life expectancy actually has nothing to do with doctors or hospitals. It has nothing to do with clinical care. It has nothing to do with health insurance. So one of the key themes is we have to reform the notion of health reform, that this is far beyond the issue of health insurance coverage. So two of my stories have nothing to do with health insurance coverage, and one of them does. First story is Second Chance. Second Chance is a grassroots community-based organization in Southeast San Diego. We fund them because they wanted to embark on a program, an effort to help recently released felons reintegrate successfully into their community. Okay? I know, on FOSS, doesn't sound like a health program to you. Very much a health program for that community, is it not? Okay. And so what we have found, after we've been funding them for about going on 5 years, we commissioned a 3-year independent university evaluation of their work. I'll give you the short story because I only have 11 minutes and 41 seconds left in my presentation. But the short story is that after 3 years, the hundreds of clients that have been served at Second Chance, 80% of them are not only out of prison, but they are gainfully employed today. Okay? That is the reverse. You may applaud. That is the reverse of the state of California's experience in terms of corrections. Okay? The opposite is, in other words, 80%, nearly 80% actually are back in prison after 3 years. You with me? So, hope, change, right? Right? And so I visited Second Chance just to see what, how they were shooting the lights out with these numbers. And I'm not going to tell you all the elements of their program, but I just want to give you one very quick and dirty, pragmatic yet innovative part of their curriculum. Okay, so they meet the inmates the minute they come out of the prison. They don't give them a card and say, give us a call if you need some help. They actually bring them right to the program. And one of the, on the day that I spent there, one of the programs or classes that they had for these ex-felons and former inmates was called Handshake 101. Okay, we're spending $400,000 a year in grant money, and they're talking about handshakes, right? What's the deal here? Okay. Well, Handshake 101 is a class where the staff, all ex-felons, okay, teach the new ex-felons how to do a handshake, eye contact, and a smile. Because when you're looking for a job, what's the first thing that strikes an employer, right? Because this is a skill they do not have, okay? I mean, if I'm at San Quentin or Chowchilla or Donovan and I walk around saying, hi, my name is Bob, how are you? Right? I mean, that's risky behavior at San Quentin, is it not? Okay? But phenomenally important behavior if you're going to try and get a job. Okay? And you can watch Scott Silverman, who's the wonderful executive director of this program, and he says, I want to see a firm handshake and eye contact, and I want to see a smile. I don't care if you only got one tooth in your mouth. I want to see that tooth gleaming. Okay? And so, again, a very sort of pragmatic but innovative, low-cost approach. And by the way, their cost per client per year is about $4,000, maybe a little bit higher than that. Okay? Contrasted with, okay, that's hope. Contrasted with what needs to change. Okay, our prison industrial complex, which is at $40,000 per inmate per year. And now asking, by the way, for $7 billion to fix their healthcare system, which is half of the cost of the governor's program to fix the entire system. Okay? Hope, change.